We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel for this NBA Wednesday. We've got all 30 teams today playing in Major League Baseball throughout the day. We've got some getaway days, obviously, for some of these series playing at 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, and at noon. And, of course, the night games as well as we cap off the night with the Washington Nationals and the Seattle Mariners. I have my piece to say about that at the end of the video, but folks, before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Last night we posted our game number 5 prediction and best bet for the Western Conference Finals between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. We will have game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals out later today as well between the Pacers and the Knicks. Indiana's a game away from the finals. That's all I'm saying. I've been saying this since January. Regardless, go check those videos out here on the channel, along with our UFC Fight Night Blanchfield versus Barber full card predictions over on Greedo Plays MMA. Again, link in the description down below. Go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA as well if you have not yet. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets. We're going to kick things off with a money line. One of my favorite things to do on the channel is take Detroit Tigers money line at about even odds, and that's exactly what I'm doing to kick off the day. Detroit Tigers money line at -110. Thank you, sign me up, please. Okay, Detroit's won the first 2 games of the series against San Francisco, winning both of them by a score of 3-1. Yesterday, Jack Flaherty was tremendous for Detroit. Flaherty goes 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 8 strikeouts, lowers the ERA to 3.94 in the season. But Detroit wins the game 3-1. They're now 16 games over 500. And they've looked good against the Giants, a team that has potentially one of the best rotations in all of baseball, and on top of that, the best bullpen, I believe, in all of baseball. Regardless, man, they looked really good against Logan Webb, who's one of the premier pitchers in this league. Multi-time All-Star is Webb, and the Tigers yesterday again went against him, went 7 hits, 3 runs in 6 innings. Sure, they struck out 10 times, but hell, they put 3 runs across the board. They had 7 hits against a premier pitcher in the MLB. You'll take that if you're Detroit. And we talk about this lineup all the time. It's just a do-your-job mentality. There's no one superstar on the team. Again, do we think Riley Green someday is going to be a superstar? Likely, right? Riley Green is one hell of a talent. He's a great baseball player. But right now, there is not one individual guy you can point out on this Detroit Tigers team and say, okay, this is the guy who's leading them to victory. It's just a plethora of options, and obviously that varies from day to day depending on the pitcher. Today it will be a right-handed arm for San Francisco and in Landon Rupp. We'll get to a little bit of him in a second, but you know, yesterday for the Tigers with the righty on the bump and Logan Webb, and you're going to see the same thing today. You get Kerry Carpenter, you get Colt Keith at the top of the lineup. You're going to get a Wenzel Perez starting. You're going to get, Trace Sweeney in there as well. Guys who do specifically hit against right-handed arms will be in the lineup. And it works. It's AJ Hinch baseball. What can I say? Again, Carpenter batting 276. Torres batting 277. Riley Green batting 288. Dingler batting 290 as well. This is a tremendous baseball team. They have a great pitching staff. They have scrappy guys in the lineup who can get it done, and they've got a really good bullpen too. So the pitching matchup tonight is Landon Rupp versus Jackson Jobe. And I love taking the Tigers on Jackson Jobe bump day for the sole reason that, Jackson Jobe's team gives him run support in pretty much every single start he has. Unfortunately, Jobe lost his last start against the Cleveland Guardians where he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. But that's the only game the Tigers have lost all year long in which Jackson Jobe has pitched in. They're 8-1 in games with Jobe on the bump. Again, the only loss being that last game to Cleveland last Friday. And Jobe's been good, ERA of 4 this season, but I think it's been more so of the run support that he's gotten. He's been serviceable, and that ERA is more than inflated because of his start over in Coors Field against the Rockies, where he went 3 2/3, 8 hits and 6 runs. But as a whole this year, yeah, Jackson Jobe has been a very reliable and a very good pitcher for Detroit, and the guys behind him get him runs. And Landon Rupp, his last start, I don't know where we can gauge this. He has now gone 12 consecutive innings without giving up a run, but that's against the Athletics when they were on their big losing streak, and I mean, hell, yesterday they got killed by the Houston Astros, and against the Washington Nationals, who, it's the CJ Abrams and James Wood show. What can I say? There's nothing else. Cruz is still injured, so there's nothing else going on with that team. Again, I will give a full spiel about that at the end of the video when we talk about the Nats. But Rupp has gone 12 consecutive innings without a hit. 12 innings, without a run, 12 innings, 10 hits, 0 runs. I think things are going to be different just because Detroit, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you take away those last 2 starts against Sacramento and against Washington, ERA's 4.73 this year. He just had 2 really good starts, and credit to the guy. He's got the ERA down at 3.63, but I don't think he's as good as his numbers indicate, and he's due for a bad start at this point. 2 back-to-back really good starts. Detroit's a much better team than the Nats and the Athletics, and I feel like this lineup should be able to get going against him. And Jackson Jobe is a more than serviceable pitcher who's gotten wins for the Detroit Tigers all year long. So I'm taking Detroit here. They're at home, and they've won the first 2 games of this series, and I do think, in fact, yes, they are just that much better than San Francisco. There are levels to this, and Detroit is in the elite level right now in Major League Baseball. There's very few teams up here. I'd say it's them. I'd say it's the New York Yankees. I'd say it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. And honestly, in the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm forgetting about them. But those are the 4 like elite squads in baseball. Maybe the San Diego Padres, but those are the 4 teams to watch right now, and the 4 teams I think are the biggest contenders. Again, is that how we're going to end the Final Four this year? Likely, probably not. But right now, I'm all over the Detroit Tigers, and I think they beat the San Francisco Giants. Give me Jackson Jobe in Detroit to win at -110 on the money line. Let's move on now to our second best bet of the video. Let's go to our best player prop of the day. It's going to be Paul Skeens on the over strikeouts. I do think Pirates money line is more than playable today. I do sort of stay away from Pittsburgh money line when Paul Skeens is pitching for the sole reason that I think they are kind of overvalued in this spot at times. Today, actually, I don't think they are. They're like +110 with Skeens in the bump, and considering they won yesterday against the Diamondbacks, I actually don't feel like that's that bad of a line. I'm instead just going to make this the best player prop today because there's another money line we're going to talk about in a few moments that I just like a lot more. But we're taking this here, Paul Skeens, on the over on strikeouts at 6.5. I'm more than okay with this. Paul Skeens in back-to-back starts. He did struggle with his over strikeout prop for a while this season, but his last 2 starts, he has hit that mark against the Philadelphia Phillies. He goes 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run at 9 strikeouts, and yes, that's a complete game. His team lost 1-0, but still Skeens with 9 strikeouts in his last game against the Milwaukee Brewers, a game in which the Pirates were trying their hardest to choke away. Skeens goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, again, getting over the bump for the prop. And I get it. Arizona's a great hitting team. I completely get that. Guys, Paul Skeens is a top 5 pitcher in the sport, and he might be number 2, if not number 1. I'm serious. Like, if you want one pitcher for one game in the MLB, how many guys are you taking seriously over Paul Skeens? Screwball? Maybe. I'll take Screwball. I'll be honest. Garrett Crochet or Paul Skeens, I'm taking Paul Skeens. Yoshinobu Yamamoto or Paul Skeens, I'm taking Paul Skeens. I mean, I think Screwball's the only guy that I might consider, okay, I'll take him over Skeens. The reason why, let's just be honest, guys. The reason why Skeens isn't he gets talked about a lot. The reason why he's not talked about as much as he should is because he plays on the god-awful Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm just going to be honest. He would be talked about even more if he was on, I hate to say it, if he was on the Yankees, if he was on the Mets, if he was on the Los Angeles Dodgers, where ultimately, I kid you not, I think that's where he's going to end up. I think in a couple of years, he's going to be a Dodger. Regardless, yesterday, the Pirates win 9-6. We'll see if they get him run support again. I know that doesn't matter for our best bet, but for the soul of the video, again, I was talking about Pittsburgh money line. I think it's more than playable. Yesterday, Brian Reynolds goes 4 for 4 with a huge 3-run home run to put the Pirates ahead in the 8th inning, in a game in which they were trailing for the most part in. And, you know, I get it. Arizona's got a great lineup, but Paul Skeens is just that good, you know? Burrows pitched yesterday for Pittsburgh. He goes 3 1/3 and 2 strikeouts. Again, it's just a different game when Paul Skeens pitches. And for, again, just the sake of argument in terms of the money line, guys, Zach Gallen hasn't been the best, you know? Like, he's been all right, but I think it's more than manageable. And I think Skeens is going to have the Diamondbacks at, 1-2 runs? I don't know. And sure, again, I understand how good the Arizona lineup is. I pumped them up a lot. And yesterday, obviously, we had them on the channel as well, and they just didn't hit our run line. That's why I just don't take run lines. They just don't work out for us. And honestly, for most of that game, it looked great. Arizona was winning until they weren't, until they gave up a 7-run 8th inning and ultimately lost the game 9-6. So if you're keeping track, yeah, they're up 6-2 going into the 8th inning, and the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen strikes again. They're a good lineup. I know, Corbin Carroll, Perdomo, Gurriel can hit the ball, Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, you know, Ketel Marte when he's in the lineup, wasn't in the lineup yesterday. They're a good lineup, I get that. But Paul Skeens is the best pitcher in the major leagues. I know he doesn't lead in MLB in strikeouts because that's Mackenzie Gore. But no, Skeens is still great. His team just doesn't always win when he's on the bump. But ERA is 2.36 on the season. He's a 3-5 record, but 70 strikeouts this year. And again, he has gone over this prop in back-to-back games in Philadelphia and in his last one against the Milwaukee Brewers with 9 and 8 strikeouts respectively. And we get this line today at plus money. Plus 120 for Paul Skeens. I'm going to imagine he's going to go 7 or 8 innings today. I get it, the D-backs have a good lineup. It's just a different game when you face Paul Skeens. Look at what Paul Skeens did, by the way, in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. 6 1/3, 5 hits, 0 runs, 9 strikeouts. That's a great lineup, too. And Skeens did fairly well against them. He's just that good. He's that good. Paul Skeens on the over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 120. That's our best player prop of the day. Let's go on to our third best bet of the video. We move now to a money line. This is out of order, actually. Our next bet is earlier in the day, but bear with me here. We're just going to talk about this now. I screwed up the order. Thought this game was going on earlier. It's at 4:40 in Kansas City, Missouri. I kind of thought this was a getaway day game, but I guess they're playing 4, I think, in Kansas City. Regardless, Cincinnati Reds taking on the Kansas City Royals at 4:40. I'm taking Cincinnati, and I think this is a very easy spot for the Reds. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'll be fully transparent. I had Kansas City money line in the first game of this 3-game set on Monday. I didn't know Michael Lorenzen couldn't put the ball over the plate, or actually, I checked that. Michael Lorenzen would give up a hit every single batter he faced in that game. Regardless, Cincinnati's won back-to-back games against the Royals. They've gotten themselves back up to 500 at 28-28. And back-to-back games in which they scored 7 runs, right? Elly De La Cruz with 2 home runs yesterday. Brady Singer pitches really well against his former team in Kansas City. And the main reason we're going to this one is not because of their 2 back-to-back victories in Kansas City so far this series. No, it's the pitching matchup. Hunter Green's on the bump, and he's taking on Noah Cameron. Now, Noah Cameron has been really good this season. I completely understand that. With all due respect to Noah Cameron, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. How many times is he going to do this? Well, let's just be honest, right? How many times is Noah Cameron going to put up these numbers? In his first year in the major leagues this season, at 25 years of age, how many times is Noah Cameron going to go 6 innings and give up 1 run? I will detail every start he's had so far this season, okay? Wednesday, April 30th, against the Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa, he goes 6 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs. 5 walks, and the walks haven't really been a problem since, but they were a problem in that game against the Rays. His next start against the St. Louis Cardinals, 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. Ultimately, his team loses the game 1-0, so yeah, you get the loss for that one. Again, pitchers' records don't mean anything. His next start against the Minnesota Twins, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. His team ends up losing the game 3-1. So in all fairness, Noah Cameron, in games in which Noah Cameron has started this year for the Kansas City Royals, they're 1-2. Obviously, not to Cameron's fault at all. But how many times is he gonna put up those numbers, right? And the Reds have been on fire so far in this series, hitting-wise. We get Hunter Green today on the bump. Now, how deep into the game will Hunter Green go is the question. His last 2 starts since coming back from injury, actually, he had the Nats start. No, his last start against the Cubs, it was the Brave start when he went on the IL, obviously, and then he came back. And that Cubs start for him, it was just a high-scoring affair. It was a game that was... The final score was 13-6 Chicago. Hunter Green in that game goes 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs. Pitch count of 83 pitches after 4 innings. They just pulled him. Again, the game that I was confusing or mixed up with against the Braves. That's the game he got pulled. 3 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. We actually had Reds money line that day, and it still won even with Green getting pulled after the 3rd inning. But the Reds just play better when Hunter Green's on the bump. I am going to say that the last start that he had against Chicago was just an outlier. Again, that was a crazy game that was played on Friday night. Hell, all 3 of those games I thought between Cincinnati and Chicago were crazy at Great American Ballpark. But I still like what Hunter Green's got. Obviously, ERA has ballooned up to 2.54. Oh no. But this is a guy, again, with a very effective fastball. He's got a nice slider as well. Hunter Green's tough to hit. He just is. And I look at this Royals team, I look at the struggles that this team has had hitting-wise in this series. I mean, 4 runs in the first game, but only 2 yesterday. And there were 2 runs scored in the 2nd inning. Kyle Isbell with the hit, Jonathan Indio with the hit. They went up 2-1, and they did not see the lead after, obviously, because 6 consecutive runs were scored by the Cincinnati Reds. And this is the problem I've always had with Kansas City, and I understand I just said, Jonathan India and Kyle Isbell got things done at the 9-1 spot yesterday in the lineup, and that's great. I still have the same problems about Kansas City like I do with, I guess, the Giants at times. I get their pitching can be really good. I know Chris Bubich, obviously, has been an elite arm so far this season. They've got some really good guys in the KC rotation. Again, and Noah Cameron so far in his major league career has been really good. But I look at this lineup and I say, okay, Bobby Witt has gone 0 for in back-to-back games in the series so far. Went 0 for 4 in the first game on Monday, went 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk. He's batting .289 in the season. But if Bobby Witt can't get it going, okay, you leave yourself with a problem. Then Vinny Pasquantino, all right, he's batting .255 in the 3 spot. If he can't get things going, which he didn't yesterday either. I believe he went back-to-back 0 for days. Maikel Garcia, we'll see what he does. Obviously, Garcia's been great. But there's just too many guys in the lineup that I don't trust in. And I know Jonathan India had 2 hits yesterday, and he's playing against his former team right now, but is Jonathan India going to put up those numbers again? Salvi Perez, he's been kind of home run or bust, it feels like, at times this season. I know that's kind of what Salvi's always been, but I don't know. Salvi's getting up there in age. They play Jake Rave in right field, who still is yet to have a hit this season. Michael Massey just feels unplayable at times. I don't know. I like Drew Waters, but I just don't know, right? I'm taking Cincinnati on the road. I like what this team's been doing. TJ Friedel's hitting the ball really well. Santiago Espinal's hitting the ball well. Austin Hayes quietly is batting .308 this season, and nobody's talking about it. I know he went 0 for 5 yesterday with 3 Ks. But Austin Hayes has been really good. I feel like every time I watch a Reds game, Tyler Stevenson does something, and then I check his numbers, and he's batting .215. But yesterday, he hit a home run. Stevenson is good in spots, right? And obviously, Ellie De La Cruz yesterday with the 2 home runs as well. You take all that into consideration and say, okay, Hunter Green's pitching today. Yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati to win, -120. How many times does Noah Cameron continue to put up great starts is the question. I don't think it carries over into this game. We saw Brady Singer, go right through the Royals yesterday, and I believe Hunter Green is going to do it today in the 3rd game of the series. It is getaway day, but I guess, the Reds, I assume the Reds just aren't playing tomorrow, so that's why it's a night game. Regardless, I'm taking, actually, there's only 4 games tomorrow. We're taking the Cincinnati Reds here on the money line at -120 to go into KC and beat the Royals and actually sweep the Royals as well. Let's go into our 4th best bet of the video. Again, got this out of order. My apologies for that, but here's our daily Nerfie. We are still on fire with the Nerfies. Yesterday, another hit for us. It was a Toronto-Texas game that finished with a final score of 2-0. We had the Nerfie and it hit. We had a little bit of trouble early. It was Toronto had Boba on 3rd with 2 outs, or actually with 1 out. Evaldi got out the jam. We were fine. We hit the Nerfie yesterday. We've been, again, on fire all year long with the Nerfies. I don't have the exact tally. I believe we got to be at about 75% with the Nerfies this season. I think we are. Knock on wood when I say that for today's best bet, but we've got the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. So yesterday we took Phillies money line. Game was not kind of how I thought it was going to go, but I'll take it. A 2-0 victory for Philadelphia. It was a 1-0 game, and they had the RBI walk. I think, was it Realmuto? I think it was Realmuto, I believe. In the bottom of the 8th, that gave him the 2nd run. It was Max Kepler in the 2nd inning who got that 1st run across. Regardless, low-scoring affair. Ranger Suarez, who can be shaky at times. I know he went 6 shutout innings yesterday. Guys, Ranger Suarez, and this isn't relevant to today. I just got to get this off my chest. Every time I watch Ranger Suarez, again, I'm not a Phillies fan, but I feel like I watch the Phillies enough. Does Ranger Suarez just always get into full counts all the time? Because that's what it felt like yesterday. And he managed, obviously, but my goodness, it is a struggle sometimes watching Ranger Suarez, and it's just scare sometimes watching Ranger Suarez. But a great game pitched by him yesterday. I'm not going to deny that. Anyways, today we're taking the Nerfie. Now, Bryce Harper went out of yesterday's game. He got plunked in the 1st inning by Spencer Strider, got hit. Believe it was in the wrist. I think maybe it was lower on the arm. Regardless, I don't expect Bryce Harper to play today. If I'm not mistaken, Philadelphia is off tomorrow. So if Harper does not hit the IL, I think he'll just be back on Friday. I doubt he's going to play the day after that injury, just because maybe he does. Guy's a warrior, but they do play tomorrow. Oh, they're one of the 4 games tomorrow. Regardless, I think Bryce probably just takes a day off, and if he is going to avoid the IL, just expect him to play tomorrow. But that does that's going to be part of why I'm taking the Nerfie. Bryce Harper's probably not playing, and that's a huge guy that's just out of the top of the lineup, obviously, for Philadelphia. Pitching matchup tonight, it's going to be A.J. Smith-Shawver and Zach Wheeler. Well, Zach Wheeler is nails. The Braves aren't scoring on Zach Wheeler, okay? This guy has now gone, I believe it's 20 consecutive innings. It might be more without giving up a single run. He's been absolutely ridiculous. His last 3 starts, 7 innings pitched against the Guardians, 3 hits, 0 runs. Pittsburgh starts, 6 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs. A's starts, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 0 runs. Yeah, he's been untouchable, man. Zach Wheeler's that good. He is the clear I don't know if he's a clear favorite. It's Paul Skeens. Right now, it's Paul Skeens and Zach Wheeler for Cy Young in the National League for me, right? And then I guess the AL, it's Scooball. Oh, Max Fried. It's Scooball. Okay, you can throw Fried's name in there, but I think Crochet is better than Fried, and I think Fried's numbers are going to kind of balloon eventually, but who knows? Credit to him, he's been pitching well. Anyways, Zach Wheeler's been phenomenal. A little bit of a rough start to the season. He's been really good, though. The Phillies have won their last 5 games in which Wheeler has taken the bump. Again, that doesn't matter today because we have the Nerfie, but what I do think about this game, and I see, okay, well, we get Zach Wheeler in the bump. Atlanta's not scoring. Okay, they're simply put, they're not scoring. Ronald Acuna, it felt like the Phils were avoiding Acuna a lot yesterday. like I feel like every at bat Acuna had, there, he was instantly had 2 balls or 3 balls in the count, and he actually went 1 for 4. Acuna would kind of swing his way back into a lot of counts that we saw yesterday. Regardless, Acuna's a threat. He's batting .313 on the season. I know in only 4 games, but he's hit 2 home runs in those 4 games back, right? Okay, he's great. Austin Riley, it's a righty-righty matchup for Wheeler. I'm taking Wheeler. Marcell Ozuna, again, Ozuna from the Braves, great baseball player. I'm taking Zach Wheeler. Matt Olson, it doesn't have it this season. I'm just going to be honest. So as long as we're able to avoid the Acuna problem, and I'm so serious, if Acuna, as long as he doesn't have an extra base knock, even a single, I think we can manage. An extra base knock, I still think Wheeler can get by. The main thing is just keep Acuna in the park, okay? If Acuna stays in the park, I think we're okay with Zach Wheeler. And on the flip side, AJ Smith-Shawver's been good this year. He really has. 3.67 ERA. I know his last start against the Nationals was absolutely atrocious, so shout out the Nats. They can have games like that. It's a bounce-back start for Smith-Shawver. Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, likely 1, 2, 3. Again, Kyle Schwarber scares me. I'm not going to lie to you, right? Like, we've talked about this before. Like, when Kyle Schwarber hits the ball hard and it goes off his bat, I mean, and if you're betting against the Phillies, my goodness, is it a scare? It 100% is. But I'm taking, again, we say this all the time with Nerfies, and I'm going to use the reasoning one more time. Kyle Schwarber is, OBP included, is arguably one of the best hitters in baseball. Just because of what he does and because of how much he gets on base. Still, Kyle Schwarber's OBP is 396. For the purpose of the video, we'll say it's 400. 4 to 10 times Kyle Schwarber gets on base. The odds still favor us with AJ Smith-Shawver. And on top of that, I mean, what are the odds he puts one out of the park, right? I'm okay with this. I'm taking the Nerfy here in Philadelphia at the bank. I think AJ Smith-Shawver and Zach Wheeler should be able to get it done. Minus 130 for our daily Nerfy of the day. As we go on to our final best bet of the video, it is our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. And we are going James Wood on the over total bases. It is over 1.5. It's at plus 110, plus 120, which I think is too good to pass up on for me, Guys, he is the only guy in this Nationals lineup that is actually worth a damn right now. And CJ Abrams is going to be fine. He's just had a rough 4-game stretch, even though he had 1 hit on Sunday. It's okay. I think Abrams is going to be all right. I don't trust anybody else in this team, though, right now. I just don't. And I'm going to have the Dalen Lyle, Robert Hassel discussion, I think, tomorrow, if neither of those guys get on base today. I'm just going to be honest. And I said this when I was talking about the prospects like a month ago. And I said, I know people want to get Jacob Young out of there, and I get it, RH3 and Lyle are fun. Jacob Young's been a Major League Baseball player for 2.5 years now. Okay? 2 years. He's been there, he's done that, and sure, he's having a rough season, but are we really confident that RH3 and Lyle are better than him? I don't know. I'm going to give it another day, and then we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I get they're still rookies, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Yesterday was just atrocious for the Nationals. It was one of the worst Nationals days in a minute. I don't know if I can say it was a bad Nationals day. It was just kind of a hilarious Nationals day, right? Ken Rosenthal writes an article for The Athletic, and it's about the Nationals, and it goes into the national media attention. Basically, the headline is, good teams both spend and develop. The Nationals do neither. And guys, Rosenthal's right. I get it. He's an Orioles fan. He's had some really bad takes about the Nationals in the past. I'm not saying that. But he's completely right with that take. He just is. Okay? Guys, you look at the Nats' best players right now. It's CJ Abrams. It's Mackenzie Gore. It's James Wood, obviously. And sure, I'll throw Kyle Finnegan in there as well. Okay. The first 3 guys were in the Juan Soto trade from San Diego. And Kyle Finnegan was actually an athletics player who they got eventually. None of these guys are homegrown talent, and none of these guys they actually signed in free agency. I think Finnegan was in a minor league trade at one point in time. So Rosenthal is right here, guys. Let's just be honest. So how do the Nationals respond from this, right? Rosenthal goes after the Nats. He did get one thing wrong. He got a couple things wrong in the article. Like he said, CJ Abrams was never going to be on the level of Trey Turner. Personally, I disagree. Anyways, how do the Nationals respond? He goes after Mike Rizzo, basically goes after the learners, essentially goes after the team as well. Basically, just told RH3 and Lyle, like, hey guys, like, we don't think you're we don't think you're developed. We don't think you're ready for the show. The Nationals then proceed to put on the most embarrassing performance they've put on all season long. They go to the Pacific Northwest and lose 9-1 to the Seattle Mariners, and basically just prove Rosenthal right that the rebuild will never end. And sure, Rosenthal did say, okay, the Nats aren't in as bad of a spot as Pittsburgh or Colorado, but it's not like winning's around the corner, and the rebuild has gone on for years now, and there's no end in sight. He's right. again, I don't want to be all negative on the Nats, but he's not wrong. And guys, we're 6 games under now. We make Logan Evans look like he's Greg Maddux, going 8 innings, 4 hits, the James Wood solo home run. Glad he showed up to play. He's the only guy who did. But guys, Logan Evans was through 7 innings and 70 pitches. We're a joke. Don't get me started on Mitchell Parker. Don't get me started. Julio home run, Cal Raleigh home run, 2 of them. Just such a joke, man. Such an absolute atrocity of a baseball team right now. And it all starts with you, Mark Lerner. It all starts with you. Sell the goddamn team. Sell the team. It's an absolute embarrassment. Anyways, I'm taking James Woods over today. I think this is fairly easy. Again, he's the only guy we can trust in this team. And it gets worse, by the way, guys. You know, Trevor Williams is going to pitch today for the Nationals. Spend some money in free agency. The only guys we spent on this offseason were Josh Bell and Trevor Williams. We want to be the 2018 Pirates so bad. I don't get it. I don't get what goes on in the mind of Mark Lerner. James Wood over 1.5 total bases just makes sense. He's the only guy who actually shows up and plays. George Kirby's pitching actually wasn't very good in his first start. Like, I think there is a potential actually for the Nationals to win this game, but then I realized, oh, Trevor Williams is pitching. I did think about going plus 1.5 for the Nats, but I don't know. Kirby's first start this year was not good against the Astros. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs. It was not good. That's why if the Nationals are going to be competitive in this game, likely it's because of James Wood. Okay, so James Wood, I think, is going to hit a home run today. I think in back-to-back days, I'm going to be honest with you. He's never seen Kirby in his career. I don't care. I'm going to take James Wood in the spot. Again, he's the only guy I can rely on. Tomorrow, if the Nats don't win tomorrow, there's something wrong. We're going to talk about that. It's a nationally televised game on Fox Sports 1. Mackenzie Gore versus Emerson Hancock. There's only 4 games tomorrow. I'll get you 5 bets for those 4 games. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's going to be 2 Nationals bets. One will likely involve Mackenzie Gore. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Nats probably just win that game tomorrow if they can. I'm just so down on this team. Like, prove me wrong today, please. Just please. And I have to watch Josh Bell play every day. James Wood over 1.5 total bases. I'm so excited to watch the Nats at 7 o'clock tonight. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. James Wood over 1.5 total bases. Folks, that'll do it for MLB Best Bets. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank you all for watching. And Mamba, forever.